Warning: the following video have flashy images, so be aware of any seizures. If you support my content, make sure to hit the subscribe button, like this video, and most importantly, I want to hear your opinion on the stories you are about to hear. Thank you, and I hope you enjoy. Hey, Reddit. I never thought I'd be posting here, but something has happened and I need to share it before it's too late. It all started a few weeks ago when I stumbled upon a website that promised to fulfill your wildest dreams. Sounds too good to be true, right? Well, it was. I was scrolling through the dark corners of the internet, as one does when they have too much time on their hands. That's when I came across a forum post on one of those shady message boards. The post was titled, "The Eternal Sleep. Live Your Dreams Forever." Intrigued and slightly creeped out, I clicked on it. The post described a website unlike anything I'd ever heard of. It claimed that users could enter a virtual dream world where they could experience anything they desired. You want to fly? Done. You want to be a millionaire? Easy. It was like something out of a sci-fi novel. Naturally, I was skeptical, but the more I read, the more I was drawn in. The post was filled with testimonials from people who claimed to have visited the site and had their lives changed forever. They spoke of experiencing unimaginable pleasures and fulfilling their deepest desires. I'll admit, I was tempted. Life hadn't been going too great for me lately, and the idea of escaping into a world where anything was possible was incredibly appealing. So, against my better judgment, I clicked on the link at the bottom of the post. The website was simple, almost too simple. It had a black background with white text that read, "Welcome to the Eternal Sleep. Enter your dreams." Below the text was a single button that said, "Enter now." I hesitated for a moment, my cursor hovering over the button, but then curiosity got the better of me, and I clicked. The screen went black for a moment before fading into a swirling vortex of colors. I felt a rush of excitement and anticipation as I was pulled deeper into the virtual world. And then, suddenly, I was standing on a beach, the warm sun on my skin, and the sound of waves crashing in the distance. It was incredible. I could feel the sand between my toes and smell the salty sea air. I spent hours exploring the virtual world, trying out different scenarios and living out fantasies I never thought possible. It was like nothing I'd ever experienced before. But as the days went by, I started to notice something strange. People were disappearing. At first, I thought it was just a glitch in the system, but then I began to hear whispers among the other users. They spoke of friends who had visited the site and never returned. Some said they had received strange messages warning them to stay away. I tried to brush it off, telling myself it was just a rumor. But then, one day, I received a message of my own. It was short and cryptic, just a single line of text. "You're next." That's when I knew something was seriously wrong. I tried to log out of the website, but no matter what I did, I couldn't escape. It was like I was trapped in a never-ending nightmare, and there was no way out. And now, as I sit here typing this, I can't shake the feeling that something is watching me, waiting for me to make a wrong move. I don't know what's going to happen next, but I have a feeling it's not going to be good. So please, if you're reading this, whatever you do, stay away from the eternal sleep. Trust me, you don't want to end up like me. Hey guys, it's me again. Thanks for all the messages of support. I never expected this post to blow up like it did. But I'm glad to know I'm not alone in this. Since my last update, things have only gotten weirder. After receiving that ominous message, I tried everything to disconnect from the eternal sleep, but it was like I was stuck in some kind of virtual prison. No matter how many times I clicked the log out button, nothing happened. It was like the website had a hold on me, and I couldn't break free. As the days passed, I noticed more and more glitches in the system. Sometimes the world would glitch out, and I'd find myself floating in a void of nothingness. Other times, I'd encounter strange creatures that seemed to be watching me, their eyes glowing with an otherworldly light. But the scariest part was the disappearances. Every day, more and more users vanished without a trace. Some would log out and never log back in, while others simply stopped responding to messages. It was like they had been swallowed up by the virtual world, never to return. I tried reaching out to the other users, hoping to find someone who could help me escape, but most of them were too scared to talk. They spoke in hushed whispers, as if afraid that even mentioning the disappearances would make them the next target. But then, just when I thought things couldn't get any worse, I received another message. This time, it wasn't a warning. It was an invitation. "Congratulations," it read. "You've been selected to join us. Meet us at the coordinates provided, and we will show you the truth." I knew it was a trap, but I didn't have much of a choice. I had to find a way out of this nightmare, and if that meant walking straight into the lion's den, then so be it. So, with a sense of dread gnawing at my stomach, I set out to find the coordinates listed in the message. What I found when I arrived was beyond anything I could have imagined. It was a hidden bunker, buried deep beneath the earth. The walls were lined with monitors and computers, and in the center of the room stood a figure shrouded in darkness. They called themselves the Architects, the creators of the eternal sleep. They explained that the website was never meant to be a harmless escape from reality. It was a tool, a way for them to harvest the dreams of unsuspecting users and use them to fuel their own twisted desires. I was horrified. All this time, I had been nothing more than a pawn in their sick game. But before I could react, they offered me a choice: join them and become part of their inner circle, or suffer the same fate as all the others who dared to defy them. I knew what I had to do. With a newfound sense of determination, I refused their offer and made a run for it. But as I fled from the bunker, I couldn't shake the feeling that they were still watching me, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. I don't know what's going to happen next, but I know one thing for sure. I'm not going down without a fight. So please, if you're reading this, heed my warning. Stay away from the eternal sleep, or you may never wake up again. Hey, everyone. It's been a while since my last update. I've been laying low, trying to gather as much information as I can about the eternal sleep and the people behind it. And let me tell you, what I've uncovered is even more disturbing than I could have imagined. After narrowly escaping from the Architect's bunker, I knew I couldn't just sit back and do nothing. I needed to find a way to bring them down before they could harm anyone else. So, I reached out to a few friends of mine who were skilled hackers, hoping they could help me track down the source of the website. It wasn't easy, but after weeks of painstaking research and countless sleepless nights, we finally managed to trace the website back to its origins. As it turns out, the Eternal Sleep was created by a shadowy organization known only as the Collective. The Collective is made up of some of the world's most powerful and influential individuals all working together to achieve their own twisted goals. They saw the eternal sleep as a way to control the masses, to manipulate their dreams and desires for their own gain. But that's not even the worst part. The collective has been using the website to experiment on unsuspecting users, testing the limits of the human mind and pushing the boundaries of what's possible. And those who dare to resist are met with swift and brutal punishment. Armed with this information, my friends and I knew we had to act fast. We hacked into the collective servers, gathering evidence of their crimes and exposing them to the world. But as we dug deeper, we realized that the rabbit hole went even deeper than we thought. The collective wasn't just using the eternal sleep to control people's dreams. They were also using it to harvest their memories, their thoughts, their very essence. They were building an army of mindless drones, ready to do their bidding at a moment's notice. We knew we had to stop them, no matter the cost. So we formulated a plan to take down the collective once and for all. It wasn't going to be easy, and we knew we were putting ourselves in grave danger, but we couldn't just stand by and let them continue to prey on innocent people. As I sit here typing this, I can feel the weight of the world on my shoulders. The fate of humanity hangs in the balance, and it's up to us to save it. So please, if you're reading this, know that we're out here fighting for you, and together we will bring an end to the eternal sleep and the darkness that threatens to consume us all. It's been a long and treacherous journey, but we're finally nearing the end. The collective knows we're coming for them, and they're not going down without a fight, but neither are we. Armed with our knowledge and determination, my friends and I have been preparing for the final showdown. We've gathered as much evidence as we can, exposing the collective's crimes to the world and rallying support from those who believe in our cause. But it won't be easy. The collective has resources beyond anything we could have imagined. They have armies of loyal followers and technology that far surpasses anything available to the public. And worst of all, they're willing to do whatever it takes to protect their secrets. But we're not afraid. We know that the truth is on our side, and that together we can overcome even the most insurmountable odds. So we steel ourselves for the battle ahead, ready to face whatever dangers lie in our path. As we make our final preparations, I can't help but feel a sense of unease. The collective is a formidable enemy, and we know they won't go down without a fight. But we also know that we have something they don't: hope. Hope that we can make a difference. Hope that we can put an end to the eternal sleep and the darkness that threatens to consume us all. And most importantly, hope that we can build a better future for ourselves and for generations to come. So please, if you're reading this, know that we're out here fighting for you. And together, we will prevail. The collective may have the power for now, but they can't control our dreams forever. It's time to take back what's ours and reclaim our freedom once and for all. I wish I could tell you that our battle with the collective ended in a triumphant victory, that we emerged from the ashes victorious and unscathed. But the truth is far more complicated than that. Our confrontation with the collective was fierce and brutal, stretching on for what felt like an eternity. We fought tooth and nail, using every trick and tactic we knew to gain the upper hand. And in the end, we emerged victorious, but at a great cost. Many of my friends didn't make it out alive. They gave their lives in the pursuit of justice, sacrificing everything to ensure that the collective could never harm anyone again. Their bravery will never be forgotten, and their memory will live on in our hearts forever. But despite our victory, the battle is far from over. The collective may have been dealt a significant blow, but they're far from defeated. They still lurk in the shadows, plotting and scheming, waiting for the perfect moment to strike back. And so, we remain vigilant. We know that the fight for freedom is never truly over, that we must always be prepared to defend ourselves against those who seek to oppress us. But as long as we stand together, united in our cause, I know that we can overcome any obstacle that stands in our way. So please, if you're reading this, know that the battle against the collective rages on. But take heart in the knowledge that there are those among us who will never stop fighting for what's right. And together, we will build a brighter future for ourselves and for generations to come. I never thought a simple click on a random internet link would lead me down a path of sheer terror. It all started innocently enough, just another typical night of mindlessly scrolling through Reddit, diving into threads about unsolved mysteries and paranormal encounters. But then, like a beacon in the darkness, a private message popped up in my inbox. The sender's username was a jumble of numbers and letters, completely unremarkable, but the message itself sent a shiver down my spine. Congratulations, you've been invited to join an exclusive club for those with a taste for the macabre. Click the link below to accept your invitation. Normally, I'd have dismissed it as spam or some elaborate prank, but there was something about the message that intrigued me. Maybe it was the allure of the unknown, or the adrenaline rush of stepping into forbidden territory. But against my better judgment, I clicked the link. Instantly, I was transported to a dark and ominous website, the kind that looked like it belonged in the deepest corners of the dark web. The homepage was adorned with cryptic symbols and eerie animations, and a single sentence greeted me in bold letters: "Welcome to the club." Curiosity mingled with apprehension as I navigated through the site, each click taking me deeper into a twisted underworld I never knew existed. There were forums dedicated to discussing the most gruesome crimes, galleries showcasing horrifying artwork, and even a chat room where members exchanged chilling stories of their own encounters with the unknown. But the most disturbing section of all was the events page, where upcoming gatherings were listed with cryptic descriptions that sent chills down my spine. And there, nestled among the entries, was one that made my blood run cold: the Gathering of Shadows, a night to remember. Without fully comprehending the gravity of my actions, I RSVP'd to the event, rationalizing that it was all just an elaborate hoax designed to spook unsuspecting internet users. But deep down, a nagging feeling gnawed at my conscience, warning me that I had stumbled upon something far more sinister than I could ever imagine. Little did I know, I had just stepped into the dark and twisted world of a serial killer club. As the days passed, a sense of unease settled over me like a suffocating blanket. Despite my attempts to push the invitation to the back of my mind, it lingered there, a constant reminder of the sinister path I had unwittingly embarked upon. But curiosity, coupled with a morbid fascination, kept drawing me back to the dark corners of the internet, where the club's website awaited. Each visit only served to deepen the mystery surrounding the upcoming gathering, Cryptic messages and ominous hints littered the forums, hinting at unspeakable horrors yet to come. And as the date of the event drew nearer, I found myself consumed by a mixture of dread and anticipation, unable to tear myself away from the impending darkness. In the days leading up to the gathering, I became increasingly paranoid, convinced that I was being watched by unseen forces lurking in the shadows. Every creak of the floorboards and rustle of the wind outside sent my heart racing, and sleep became a distant memory as nightmares plagued my every moment. But amidst the fear and uncertainty, a twisted curiosity burned within me, urging me to delve deeper into the secrets of the club. I spent hours scouring the internet for clues, piecing together fragments of information in a desperate attempt to uncover the truth behind the gathering of shadows. And then, just when I thought I couldn't sink any deeper into the abyss, a package arrived at my doorstep, shrouded in black wrapping paper and sealed with a blood-red ribbon. Trembling with trepidation, I tore open the package to reveal a single object nestled within: a sleek obsidian black mask, adorned with intricate carvings and adorned with glistening jewels. It was a chilling reminder of the darkness that awaited me, a physical manifestation of the horrors that lurked just beyond the veil. And as I stared into the empty eyes of the mask, I knew that there was no turning back. The gathering of shadows awaited, and I was powerless to resist its call. The night of the gathering arrived like a specter, cloaked in darkness and shrouded in secrecy. With the mask clutched tightly in my trembling hands, I made my way to the designated location, a derelict warehouse on the outskirts of a town. The air was thick with anticipation, tinged with a palpable sense of dread that seemed to seep into my very bones. As I approached the warehouse, I was greeted by a sight straight out of a nightmare. Figures, clad in dark robes and masks, lingered in the shadows, their faces obscured by the same eerie visages that now adorned my own. The air buzzed with whispered conversations and nervous laughter, but beneath the facade of camaraderie, I sensed something far more sinister at play. With a sinking feeling in the pit of my stomach, I realized that I had stumbled upon a gathering of the most depraved individuals imaginable. These were not mere thrill-seekers or armchair detectives, but true disciples of darkness, drawn together by a shared obsession with death and destruction. As I navigated through the throng of masked figures, I caught glimpses of twisted rituals and unspeakable acts unfolding in the shadows. Blood-red candles cast flickering shadows upon the walls, illuminating scenes of unspeakable horror that sent shivers down my spine. And then, as if drawn by some unseen force, I found myself standing before the leader of the gathering, a figure clad in flowing robes and crowned with a crown of twisted thorns. His eyes bore into mine with an intensity that made my blood run cold, and I knew in that moment that I was in the presence of true evil. With a voice like gravel and venom, the leader addressed the assembled throng, his words dripping with malice and madness. He spoke of a new era of darkness dawning upon the world, of a reign of terror that would consume all who dared to stand in its way. And as his words echoed through the cavernous halls of the warehouse, I knew that I was staring into the abyss itself. But even as fear threatened to consume me whole, a spark of defiance flickered within my heart. I may have stumbled into this gathering by accident, but I refused to become a pawn in their twisted game. With every ounce of courage I could muster, I vowed to escape the clutches of the serial killer club and expose their atrocities to the world. Little did I know, the true horrors were yet to come. As the leader's sinister sermon reached its crescendo, a sense of impending doom settled over the gathering like a suffocating fog. In the flickering light of the blood-red candles, I could see the faces of my fellow club members contorted with a mixture of fear and anticipation, their eyes glinting with an unholy fervor. But amidst the chaos and confusion, a single thought burned bright in my mind: escape. With every fiber of my being screaming for freedom, I began to inch my way towards the exit, careful to avoid drawing attention to myself. Just as I reached the threshold of the warehouse, a blood-curdling scream pierced the air, freezing me in my tracks. I turned to see one of the club members collapse to the ground, clutching at his chest as blood poured from a gaping wound. Panic erupted among the gathered throng as they realized that they were not safe, even within the confines of their own twisted sanctuary. With a deafening roar, the crowd surged towards the exit, trampling over each other in a frenzied bid for survival. But as I fought my way through the chaos, a chilling realization dawned upon me. This was no accident. The gathering of shadows was not simply a meeting of like-minded individuals, but a carefully orchestrated trap designed to cull the weak from the herd and weed out any potential threats to the club's reign of terror. With a sinking feeling in the pit of my stomach, I realized that I was being hunted like a cornered animal, with nowhere to run and nowhere to hide. And as the screams of the dying echoed through the night, I knew that my only chance for survival lay in uncovering the truth behind the club's sinister agenda. With every ounce of strength I could muster, I pushed through the crowd and fled into the darkness, knowing that the true horrors were yet to come. Little did I know, the darkest secrets of the serial killer club were about to be revealed in ways I could never have imagined. As I sprinted through the labyrinthine streets, my heart pounded in my chest like a drumbeat of impending doom. Every shadow seemed to conceal a lurking threat, every alleyway a potential trap waiting to ensnare me in its deadly embrace. But despite the fear gnawing at my insides, I refused to surrender to despair. I had survived the gathering of shadows, and now I was determined to expose the truth behind the club's reign of terror. With adrenaline coursing through my veins, I raced towards the nearest police station, desperate to seek refuge from the horrors that pursued me. But as I burst through the doors, panting and wild-eyed, I was met with stares of disbelief and suspicion. To the outside world, I was just another crazed lunatic ranting about imaginary monsters lurking in the shadows. Undeterred by their skepticism, I pleaded with the officers to listen to my story, to believe that the serial killer club was real, and that its members posed a grave threat to the safety of the community. But my words fell upon deaf ears, dismissed as the ravings of a delusional mind. Frustrated and defeated, I retreated into the cold embrace of the night, knowing that I was now truly alone in my fight against the darkness. But even as despair threatened to consume me whole, a glimmer of hope flickered within my heart. Armed with nothing but my determination and a burning desire for justice, I vowed to continue my crusade against the serial killer club, to expose their atrocities and bring their reign of terror to an end. For I knew that as long as even a single soul remained unaware of the horrors lurking in the shadows, the darkness would continue to spread like a cancer, devouring everything in its path. And so, with a steely resolve and a heart heavy with the weight of the horrors I had witnessed, I set out into the night, a lone beacon of light in a world consumed by darkness, for I knew that no matter how long the road ahead may be, I would never rest until the true face of evil was unmasked and justice was served. Days turned into weeks, and weeks into months, as I delved deeper into the twisted underbelly of the serial killer club. Armed with nothing but my determination and a burning desire for justice, I embarked on a relentless crusade to uncover the truth behind their heinous crimes. I scoured every corner of the internet for clues, piecing together fragments of information in a desperate bid to unravel the club's dark secrets. I pored over police reports and missing persons cases, searching for patterns and connections that might lead me closer to the truth. But with each new revelation, the darkness only seemed to grow deeper, the horrors more unfathomable. I uncovered tales of unspeakable cruelty and depravity, of innocent lives snuffed out in the name of twisted pleasure. And with every passing day, the weight of the atrocities I had witnessed threatened to crush me beneath its suffocating embrace. But even as despair threatened to consume me whole, a glimmer of hope remained, for I knew that I was not alone in my fight against the darkness. With the support of my fellow truth seekers and the unwavering determination burning within my heart, I vowed to continue my quest until the very end. And then, just when I thought all hope was lost, a breakthrough came in the form of a cryptic message from an anonymous source. It contained coordinates and a single word: truth. With a sense of trepidation and anticipation, I set out to follow the trail of breadcrumbs laid before me, knowing that the answers I sought lay just beyond the horizon. As I ventured into the unknown, the darkness closed in around me like a suffocating cloak, obscuring my vision and threatening to swallow me whole. But with every step forward, I felt a renewed sense of purpose coursing through my veins, driving me ever closer to the truth. And then, at long last, I stood before the gates of a decrepit mansion shrouded in shadows. With trembling hands, I pushed open the creaking doors and stepped into the abyss, ready to confront the horrors that awaited me within. For I knew that no matter what horrors lay in store, I would never rest until the darkness was banished from this world forever. It all began with a moment of reckless curiosity, a fleeting impulse born of boredom and a desire for something more. I had heard the stories, whispered rumors of the dark web, a hidden corner of the internet where anything and everything could be bought and sold for the right price. At first, I dismissed them as nothing more than urban legends, the product of overactive imaginations and too many late-night horror movie marathons. But as the days turned into weeks and the monotony of everyday life threatened to consume me whole, I found myself drawn inexorably towards the allure of the forbidden. And so, with trembling hands and a racing heart, I made the fateful decision to delve into the murky depths of the dark web in search of something, anything, to break the monotony of my mundane existence. It was easier than I had ever imagined. A few clicks of the mouse, a couple of whispered passwords exchanged in hushed tones, and I found myself standing on the threshold of a world beyond my wildest dreams and my darkest nightmares. The marketplace was a veritable smorgasbord of illicit delights, a digital bazaar where the laws of morality held no sway, and the only limit was the depths of your own depravity. Drugs, weapons, stolen identities, you name it, and it was there for the taking, for the right price. But it was the pills that caught my eye. Small, innocuous-looking capsules promising to unlock hidden potential and unleash the full power of the human mind. They came with a hefty price tag, but I was willing to pay whatever it took for a taste of the forbidden fruit that lay within my grasp. And so, with a sense of trepidation, mingled with excitement, I placed my order and waited with bated breath for the arrival of my newfound salvation or damnation, as the case may be. When the package finally arrived, it was like Christmas morning. A small, nondescript box nestled snugly within the confines of my mailbox, its contents shrouded in mystery and intrigue. I tore into it with trembling fingers, eager to uncover the secrets that lay hidden within. The pills themselves were unremarkable, small white capsules that looked like any other over-the-counter medication. But as I held them in my hand, a sense of unease washed over me, a nagging voice in the back of my mind whispering warnings of the dangers that lay ahead. But I pushed those doubts aside, drowning them out with a wave of blind optimism and reckless abandon. What did I have to lose after all? I was young, invincible, or so I thought, and the world was mine for the taking. Little did I know that decision would change my life in ways I could never have imagined. With trembling hands and a racing heart, I swallowed the pill, the bitter taste lingering on my tongue like a harbinger of things to come. For a moment, nothing happened, just the steady thud of my heartbeat echoing in the silence of the room. But then, slowly but surely, I felt a change come over me, a subtle shift in consciousness that left me reeling in its wake. It was as if I were floating on a sea of pure energy, my senses heightened to a razor-sharp edge as I teetered on the brink of enlightenment. Colors seemed brighter, sounds more vivid, and I felt a surge of euphoria wash over me like a tidal wave crashing against the shore. It was unlike anything I had ever experienced before, a transcendent state of being that defied rational explanation. But as quickly as it had come, the euphoria faded, leaving me feeling drained and disoriented. I stumbled to my feet, the world spinning wildly around me as I struggled to regain my bearings. And that's when I saw it, or rather him. Reflected in the mirror before me was a face that was not my own, a stranger with haunted eyes and a twisted smile that sent shivers down my spine. I reached out to touch the glass, but the image remained unchanged, mocking me with its silent accusation. I was trapped in a body that was not my own, a prisoner of my own reckless curiosity and insatiable desire for something more. Panic surged through me like a tidal wave, threatening to drown me in a sea of fear and confusion. But even as I grappled with the enormity of my situation, a sense of grim determination took hold. I had to find a way out, a way to reverse the effects of the pill and reclaim my own identity before it was too late. And so, with a sense of urgency born of desperation, I set out to unravel the mystery of my own transformation, determined to find answers in a world gone mad. Little did I know that the truth would prove far more horrifying than I could ever have imagined. As I navigated the twisted labyrinth of the dark web in search of answers, I stumbled upon a shadowy underworld teeming with secrets and lies. Everywhere I turned, I encountered whispers of a mysterious organization known only as the Collective, a clandestine cabal of scientists and madmen who dabbled in the darkest of arts in their quest for ultimate power. It was said that the collective possessed the knowledge and the technology to transcend the boundaries of the human mind, to unlock hidden potentials and reshape reality itself. And though their methods were shrouded in secrecy and surrounded by whispers of unspeakable horrors, I knew that I had no choice but to seek them out if I had any hope of reclaiming my own identity. But as I delved deeper into the murky depths of the dark web, I soon realized that the collective was not a force to be trifled with. They operated in the shadows, their influence extending far beyond the confines of the digital realm into the darkest recesses of the real world. And they would stop at nothing to protect their secrets, even if it meant destroying anyone who dared to stand in their way. I found myself hunted at every turn, pursued by shadowy figures who seemed to materialize out of thin air, their faces shrouded in darkness as they closed in on me with a relentless determination that bordered on madness. I knew that I was no match for them, that my only hope lay in finding allies willing to risk everything to help me in my quest for the truth. But as the days turned into weeks and the noose tightened around my neck, I found myself growing increasingly desperate. Time was running out, and with each passing moment, I felt myself slipping further and further away from the person I once was. And then, just when all hope seemed lost, I stumbled upon a clue, a cryptic message hidden in the darkest corners of the web, promising salvation to those brave enough to seek it out. It was a long shot, a shot in the dark, but it was all I had left. With a sense of grim determination, I set out to follow the trail of breadcrumbs that would lead me to the heart of the collective's twisted conspiracy, risking life and limb in a desperate bid to reclaim my own identity before it was too late. Little did I know that the truth would prove far more horrifying than I could ever have imagined. As I followed the trail of clues deeper into the heart of the collective's twisted conspiracy, I found myself drawn inexorably towards a dilapidated warehouse on the outskirts of the town, a crumbling edifice that seemed to pulse with an otherworldly energy that sent shivers down my spine. With a sense of trepidation mingled with grim determination, I pushed open the rusted metal door and stepped into the darkness beyond, the faint glow of flickering fluorescent lights casting long shadows across the cavernous space. What I found inside was beyond anything I could have ever imagined, a sprawling laboratory filled with rows upon rows of gleaming stainless steel tables, each one adorned with an array of strange and sinister-looking contraptions that sent a chill down my spine. And at the center of it all stood a figure, a man clad in a white lab coat stained with the blood of countless victims, his eyes burning with a mad intensity that sent a shiver down my spine. He was surrounded by a cadre of hulking brutes, their faces twisted into grotesque masks of cruelty as they loomed menacingly over me like vultures circling their prey. I knew then that I had stumbled upon the heart of the collective's twisted conspiracy, a place where the boundaries between science and madness blurred into a nightmarish tableau of unspeakable horrors. And as the truth dawned upon me with the force of a sledgehammer to the gut, I realized with a sinking sense of dread that I was not the first, nor would I be the last to fall victim to their twisted experiments. For it was here, in this unholy laboratory of horrors, that the collective sought to transcend the limitations of the human body and mind, to reshape reality itself in their image and unleash untold chaos upon the world. But even as the darkness closed in around me, A flicker of hope ignited within my breast, a spark of defiance that refused to be extinguished in the face of overwhelming odds. I knew that I had to fight, to resist the tide of madness that threatened to engulf me whole and reclaim my own identity before it was too late. With a primal roar of defiance, I launched myself into the fray, fists flying as I battled against the forces of darkness that sought to consume me. And though the odds were stacked against me, I fought with a ferocity born of desperation, determined to emerge victorious against all odds. Little did I know that the true horror had yet to reveal itself, and that my darkest nightmares were still waiting to unfold. As the battle raged on around me, I fought with a desperate ferocity, born of sheer determination and a primal will to survive. Each blow landed with the force of a sledgehammer, sending shock waves of pain coursing through my body as I struggled to keep the darkness at bay. But for every foe I felled, two more seemed to take their place, their ranks bolstered by an endless stream of faceless minions who seemed to materialize out of thin air. It was like fighting a hydra. For every head I severed, two more sprang forth to take its place. And yet, even as the odds seemed insurmountable, I refused to give up hope. With each passing moment, I felt a flicker of defiance ignite within me, a spark of light amidst the encroaching darkness that threatened to consume me whole. But just as victory seemed within reach, disaster struck. A sudden explosion rocked the warehouse, sending debris flying in all directions as the walls crumbled around me. I was thrown to the ground in a maelstrom of chaos and confusion, my senses reeling as I struggled to make sense of the madness that surrounded me. And then, through the smoke and the rubble, I saw him, the man in the white lab coat, his eyes burning with a mad intensity as he loomed over me like a vulture circling its prey. He had a weapon in his hand, a sleek metallic device that hummed with an otherworldly energy that sent a chill down my spine. I knew then that I was facing my final test, a battle not just for my own survival, but for the fate of the world itself. And though every fiber of my being screamed at me to run, to flee from the horrors that lay before me, I knew that I would not give in to despair. With a primal roar of defiance, I launched myself at him, fists flying as I fought with every ounce of strength and determination that I possessed. And though the odds were stacked against me, I refused to back down, driven by a fierce determination to see justice served and the darkness banished once and for all. And then, with a blinding flash of light, it was over. The man in the white lab coat lay crumpled at my feet, his twisted visage frozen in a rictus of agony as the life slowly drained from his eyes. The battle was won, but at what cost? As I staggered to my feet, battered and bruised but alive, I knew that the nightmare was far from over. The darkness still lurked in the shadows, waiting to strike when least expected, and I knew that I could never truly rest until it was vanquished, once and for all. But for now, in this fleeting moment of respite, I allowed myself a moment of quiet reflection, a chance to savor the sweet taste of victory amidst the ruins of my shattered dreams. And as I gazed out upon the smoldering wreckage of the warehouse, a sense of peace washed over me like a warm tide, filling me with a newfound sense of purpose and determination. For though the road ahead may be long and fraught with peril, I knew that I would face it with courage and conviction, secure in the knowledge that no matter what horrors awaited me, I would never face them alone. for I had faced the darkness and emerged victorious, and nothing would ever be the same again. I stumbled upon the memory market quite by accident. It was one of those nights where insomnia had its icy grip on me, refusing to let go. Frustrated with my inability to sleep, I turned to the internet for solace, hoping to find something, anything, to occupy my restless mind. As I mindlessly scrolled through forums and cat videos, a pop-up ad caught my attention. It was a simple yet strangely alluring banner featuring an image of a serene beach at sunset. The text read, "Escape your reality. Visit the memory market." Curiosity piqued. I clicked on the ad, half expecting to be bombarded with sketchy links or spam. Instead, I was directed to a sleek, minimalist website with a single button in the center. Enter the market. Hesitant yet intrigued, I clicked the button, and the screen faded to black before slowly revealing a virtual marketplace unlike anything I had ever seen before. Memories, vivid and tantalizing, were neatly organized into categories: happiness, love, adventure, and even forgotten dreams. I couldn't believe my eyes. Memories for sale. It seemed too fantastical to be real. Yet, there they were, each memory accompanied by a price tag and a brief description. With a mix of skepticism and excitement, I began to browse the offerings. Memories of childhood innocence, first kisses, breathtaking vistas, all available for purchase with the click of a button. It was intoxicating, this idea that I could experience joy and happiness without the burden of reality weighing me down. But as I delved deeper into the market, I noticed something unsettling. Mixed among the blissful memories were darker, more sinister offerings. Memories of pain, loss, and fear were tucked away in shadowy corners of the marketplace, their prices discounted, but their allure undeniable. Despite my growing unease, I couldn't tear myself away. It was as if the memory market had cast a spell over me, drawing me further into its web with each passing moment. And then I saw it, a memory unlike any other, its description cryptic, yet undeniably compelling. The key to everything. Intrigued and perhaps a little reckless, I clicked on the memory, fully expecting to be met with disappointment, or worse, a virus that would fry my computer. Instead, I was greeted with a rush of images and sensations, so vivid, so overwhelming, that I felt as though I had been transported to another world. I saw myself standing on a desolate plain, surrounded by towering monoliths of stone. The sky above was an ominous shade of crimson, and the air crackled with an otherworldly energy. And in the distance, a figure beckoned to me, its features obscured by shadow. Without hesitation, I reached out to the figure, desperate to uncover the secrets hidden within this strange and tantalizing memory. But before I could grasp its hand, I was jolted back to reality, my heart pounding in my chest. I sat there for what felt like an eternity, my mind reeling from the experience. What had I just witnessed? And more importantly, what did it mean? As dawn broke outside my window, I made a decision. I would delve deeper into the memory market, determined to unlock the mysteries hidden within its digital halls. Little did I know, my journey would lead me down a path darker and more twisted than I ever could have imagined. The memory market consumed me. Days blurred into nights as I delved deeper into its labyrinthine depths, my every waking moment spent scouring its virtual shelves for clues and revelations. With each new memory I purchased, I felt myself slipping further into a haze of euphoria and despair. Happy memories provided fleeting moments of joy, while darker ones left me haunted and hollow. But I couldn't stop. I was addicted to the rush, the thrill of uncovering secrets buried within the recesses of my mind. And then I found it, the memory that would change everything. It was buried deep within the darkest corner of the market, hidden beneath layers of encryption and deception. Its price was exorbitant, far beyond anything I could afford, but I knew I had to have it. Whatever secrets it held, whatever truths it concealed, I was determined to uncover them at any cost. With trembling hands, I clicked the purchase button, watching as my meager savings vanished in an instant. But I felt no remorse, no regret. All that mattered was unlocking the mysteries of the key to everything. As the memory flooded my consciousness, I was transported once more to that desolate plain, the crimson sky casting an eerie glow upon the landscape. But this time, the figure before me was no shadowy silhouette. It was a reflection of myself. I stared into my own eyes, searching for answers, for meaning, and then it spoke. "You seek the truth, do you not?" my doppelganger whispered, its voice a chilling echo of my own. I nodded, unable to tear my gaze away from its piercing stare. "Then listen carefully," it continued, its words sending shivers down my spine. "The memory market is not what it seems. It is a prison, a cage for lost souls and forgotten memories. And you, dear seeker, are its newest inmate." I recoiled in horror, the realization dawning on me like a bolt of lightning. The memories I had purchased, the experiences I had lived, they were not mine to own. They were stolen, plucked from the minds of unsuspecting victims and sold to the highest bidder. But before I could comprehend the full extent of the revelation, I was yanked back to reality, my mind reeling from the shock. I stumbled away from my computer, my heart racing and palms slick with sweat. How had I been so blind, so foolish? And more importantly, how could I escape the clutches of the memory market before it consumed me whole? As fear and paranoia gnawed at my sanity, I knew one thing for certain. I would stop at nothing to uncover the truth behind this sinister conspiracy, no matter the cost. For if I didn't, I feared that I would become just another lost soul, trapped forever within the confines of the memory market's twisted embrace. Determined to unravel the dark secrets of the memory market, I plunged deeper into the abyss, my mind consumed by a singular obsession. Every waking moment was spent scouring the internet for clues, for any shred of information that might lead me closer to the truth. But the deeper I dug, the more elusive the answers became. The memory market was a fortress of secrecy, its creators hidden behind layers of anonymity and encryption, and try as I might, I could find no trace of their existence in the digital realm. Frustration gnawed at my sanity, threatening to consume me whole, but I refused to give up. I had come too far, seen too much, to turn back now. And then, a breakthrough. Buried within the darkest corners of the internet, I stumbled upon a forum frequented by those who claimed to have encountered the memory market firsthand. Their stories were chilling, tales of addiction and despair, of memories stolen and identities erased. But amidst the chaos, there were whispers of a secret society, a group of renegades dedicated to bringing down the memory market once and for all. They called themselves the Memory Keepers, guardians of the lost and forgotten, sworn to protect humanity from the market's insidious influence. With newfound hope coursing through my veins, I reached out to the memory keepers, offering my assistance in their noble cause. And to my surprise, they welcomed me with open arms, recognizing the fire burning within me, the same fire that drove them to fight against the darkness. Together, we plotted our next move, devising a plan to infiltrate the memory market and expose its true nature to the world. It would be dangerous, perhaps even deadly, but we knew that the stakes were too high to ignore. As the day of reckoning drew near, I felt a sense of purpose unlike any I had ever known. No longer was I a helpless victim of the market's machinations. I was a warrior, a champion of truth and justice, ready to confront the darkness head-on. And though the road ahead would be fraught with peril, I knew that as long as I had the memory keepers by my side, we would prevail, for together we would shine a light into the darkest corners of the human soul, illuminating the path to redemption and salvation. Armed with determination and the support of the memory keepers, I prepared to infiltrate the memory market, a digital labyrinth of deception and despair. Our plan was risky, our chances of success uncertain, but we were driven by a common purpose: to expose the market's true nature and put an end to its nefarious activities once and for all. Under the cover of darkness, we launched our assault on the market, hacking through layers of encryption and firewalls with precision and skill. Each keystroke brought us closer to our goal, closer to uncovering the secrets hidden within the market's virtual walls. But as we delved deeper into the market's digital depths, we encountered a resistance unlike anything we had anticipated. Security protocols triggered, alarms blared, and virtual defenses sprang to life, threatening to thwart our every move. Undeterred, we pressed on, our resolve unshakable in the face of adversity. With each obstacle we overcame, our determination only grew stronger, fueled by the knowledge that we were fighting for something greater than ourselves. And then, at long last, we reached the heart of the memory market, a virtual chamber shrouded in darkness and secrecy. Here, amidst rows of servers and flashing monitors, we uncovered the truth that had eluded us for so long. The memory market was not simply a marketplace for memories, it was a prison, a digital purgatory where stolen memories were bought and sold like commodities. And at its center stood the architects of this twisted enterprise, their faces hidden behind layers of code and deception. But before we could confront them, we were ambushed by a legion of digital sentinels, their code formidable and their defenses impenetrable. We fought bravely, our keyboards clacking furiously as we battled against overwhelming odds. But in the end, it was not enough. We were outnumbered, outmatched, our valiant efforts thwarted by the market's unyielding defenses. As the virtual walls closed in around us, I felt a sense of despair, unlike anything I had ever known. We had come so close to victory, so close to exposing the truth. But in the end, it seemed that the memory market would remain shrouded in darkness, its secrets preserved for eternity. And yet, even in defeat, I refused to surrender. For as long as even a glimmer of hope remained, I would continue to fight against the darkness, to stand against those who sought to exploit the memories of the innocent for their own twisted purposes. For though the road ahead may be long and treacherous, I knew that as long as I had the support of my fellow memory keepers, we would never give up the fight. And together, we would ensure that the memory market's reign of terror came to an end once and for all. Defeated but undeterred, I retreated from the virtual battlefield, my mind swirling with a potent mix of frustration and determination. The memory market had proven to be a formidable adversary, its defenses impenetrable, its secrets guarded with ruthless efficiency. But even in the face of defeat, I refused to abandon hope, for I knew that the truth could not remain hidden forever, that justice would eventually prevail, no matter the cost. With the support of the Memory Keepers, I redoubled my efforts to expose the dark underbelly of the memory market, determined to unravel the conspiracy that threatened to tear apart the fabric of reality itself. And then, just when all seemed lost, a breakthrough. Through a network of underground contacts and clandestine meetings, we uncovered a series of encrypted files hidden within the market's servers, files that contained damning evidence of the market's true purpose and the identities of those behind it. Armed with this newfound knowledge, we launched a coordinated attack on the market, exploiting weaknesses in its defenses and exploiting loopholes in its code to gain access to the hidden files. And what we discovered shook us to our very core. The memory market was not simply a marketplace for memories. It was a front for a far-reaching conspiracy orchestrated by a shadowy cabal of elite individuals with designs on controlling the very fabric of reality itself. Their goal was nothing less than the manipulation of human consciousness, the erasure of individual identity, and the creation of a new world order governed by their whims and desires. But even as we uncovered the extent of their treachery, we knew that our fight was far from over. For the memory market was but one piece of a much larger puzzle, a puzzle that stretched across the farthest reaches of cyberspace and beyond. Armed with the truth and fueled by righteous anger, we vowed to continue our struggle against the forces of darkness, to stand against those who would seek to exploit the memories of the innocent for their own nefarious purposes. For though the road ahead may be long and perilous, we knew that as long as we stood together, we would never falter, never waver, and together we would ensure that the memory market and those behind it faced the full wrath of justice, no matter the cost.